video. This video is going to cover the brain. Let's first of all remind ourselves of a reflex arc. A reflex arc begins with a stimulus, which is detected by our receptors. An electrical signal is then sent along the sensory neuron, and then within the central nervous system through a relay neuron, and then through a motor neuron to our effector, which therefore initiate a response. Now our brain is a complex network of neurons. We are born with 100 billion neurons which grow to form 150 trillion connections. Our brain is able to control complex behaviours and is made up of different regions. At birth it has a mass around 400 grams, and as you grow the average mass is around 1.4 kilograms. Our brain then is made up of different sections: the cerebral cortex, the medulla, and the cerebellum. Let's now look at what they do. Well, the cerebral cortex is responsible for intelligence, memory, language and consciousness, and is the outer layer of the brain. The cerebellum is responsible for muscle coordination and balance and is found at the back of the brain. And finally, the medulla is responsible for controlling unconscious actions, your heartbeat and your breathing, and is found at the base of the brain. But how do we know what each part of the brain does? Well, neuroscientists study the brain, and they can study what the brain does by looking at people that have had brain damage, stimulating the brain with electricity, and using MRI scanners. So via brain damage, when a small part of the brain is damaged, neuroscientists can see what effect that has had upon a person. For example, if a person has a stroke, they might lose the ability to talk, and then following studies, scientists have been able to locate the language centre to the brain. Studies on the brain have been going on for many years. One study looked at the personality of a man changed after a hot iron bar passed through their brain. As the iron bar passed through the brain, blood vessels were sealed. Following the incident, the man's personality changed, and it provided more evidence for neuroscientists about how the brain works and how it's made up of different areas. Now, via electrical stimulation of the brain, we know that the brain is a complex network of neurons. These neurons transmit electrical signals. Neuroscientists can use tiny electrodes to stimulate the brain with electricity. This has shown how scientists are able to identify motor areas of the brain that coordinate muscle coordination. MRI scanners can also be used and are advanced technology. They have been developed and produced a picture of the brain. MRI stands for magnetic resonance imaging. By using MRI scanners, neurologists are able to see which part of the brain are active when a person completes a different task. Now, what are the pros and cons of neuroscience? The pros are that it allows treatment of disorders such as nervous system. Treatments can be designed to improve a person's lifestyle. For instance, people that suffer from Parkinson's disease, where their tremors can be reduced. The cons, though, are that surgery on the brain is very complex and very difficult. It is also involved many risks, including causing greater damage to the brain.